Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chant A Psalm A. I'm just trying to get myself ready. And I'm here today again, chanting the psalm. Thank you so much for joining. I wanted to show you all this. My dad, he did carvings, and he does wood carvings, and he made this, and he always wanted me to be happy. He gave me that. That's a heart. You see how it's two colors there? So he made that for me, and he made me a shell. It's actually a conch shell. This is very precious stuff. Um, this is not what I have left of my dad. My dad is in my heart, but he made these. You can see it's a conch shell, very detailed. So I have these with me. Yeah, I have these with me, and I treasure these because they're. Oh, I can put that right here. Look at that. So, oh, thank you all for joining Chant A Psalm A. Thanks so much. I have to put my fan on because I'm getting hot, actually. But we have a lot to unpack today, like a lot to unpack. So, we're going to get started right now. It's what? Almost 7 o'clock. So, those of you who are just getting up, welcome to Chant A Psalm A. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for tuning in every day to listen to me go on about the love I have for goodness and mercy, and go on about my own life too. You know, I have a lot to say about that. But we keep it all in perspective. I'm moving around like what's happening. We keep it all in perspective, because if we don't, we're not gonna be good. So I have my my tea, my hot tea here. And today's psalm, oh my goodness. Greetings, everyone. Mwah. Thanks for liking this video. Oh my gosh. Thank you. That means a lot. That means so much to me. When you like the video or you're on here, I started this chant a psalm to an empty room, and I kept going. My son is like, "Why are you doing that?" But it doesn't, for me, it doesn't matter the likes and all that, but it does mean a lot. So I thank you all for joining Chant A Psalm A and tuning in every day to this platform of sharing the word. And when we're going through certain challenges in our lives, we may find that we don't get to sleep. It's called insomnia, and that is a result or a symptom of some challenge that you're going through. So what I suggest is you find something calming that's going to give you that rest. Okay? And I always try to recommend righteousness, goodness, mercy, go outside, um, go into nature, go by water like a stream and sit and meditate. And it's the foods too. The foods that you're eating may oftentimes cause a sad or depressive state. So we have to eat living foods. And I'm gonna tell you that because I I stopped eating meat, right? And I started back up with I ate a couple of days, a turkey burger. I felt so sad and depressed, and it just made my mood not good. Even though my body wanted it, it wasn't something that my gave me any mind, gave me a sense of calmness, because meat does, is dead. Okay, so when we eat, meat, it depends. Some people may not see it as that, and that's fine if that's what you want. But as your body ages, it's for me, as my body ages, I'm not able to metabolize the meat anymore. I got up, went to the bathroom this morning, and that's why I don't eat meat, because of what I saw. It's not good. So, yeah, I've kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit. And I've been going through a lot. I've been going through a lot. I'm going through a breakup right now that's hard for me. Still going through my son's passing. My son passed in February of 2023, and I didn't find out until April 10th, 2023. So, and then in 2024, July 9th, or rather June 2024, I found out that my partner of 6 years met someone else. And then on July 9th, my dad passed away. And before he passed, I told him that the person met someone else. And I told him I'm sad about that, and it's disappointing. I'm hurt. And one thing he said to me before he passed was, "Don't be sad, be glad." And I was like, how can I be glad? And this has happened. The person I love and wanted to spend the rest of my life with is met someone else. So in hindsight, I look at that. Thank you so much for liking this video. That means so much to me. And my dad said to me, "Be happy. You're free." And I was like, okay. And then he said, "Don't they have something for that, like a breakup party?" And I was like, "Daddy," you know. But he was always so positive, even in challenges. And I think it's because he was a soldier. He was in Vietnam twice. The train is coming by, y'all. And so he has faced a lot in his life. And I look at it similar to me. I was telling someone I had a home birth, and my home birth compared to my hospital births was much better. And my home birth allowed me to have this undeniable power. And the word today is powerful. That's the word today, by the way. So my home birth, it allowed me to have a sense of I can do anything I put my mind to, because your mind is stronger than anything else. When you have positive narratives in your mind, this is is the result. Positivity and strength. So greetings, Elsu. Greetings of love, happiness, with gratitude for the Most High daily. I love that. Please, thank you so much for your greetings on here, and for liking this video, and for showing up. Showing up not for me, but for yourself. Showing up to maybe you can maybe hear something that will spark something in you that can push you to your next chapter in your life, as opposed to staying in one chapter and not turning the page. It's hard, you got to turn the page, right? So the word today, I'm going to start off with that because I talk about power, and the power of having a home birth for me was the most amazing experience, okay? And that home birth empowered me and made me know that there is something higher than myself. And that's my mind. Greetings, Brian. Thank you for joining. Hi, Connie. Thank you for joining. We have a group here going. Thanks for liking this video, by the way, and subscribing to this channel so you can get notifications. Hi, Chawa. Good morning. How was everybody's night? I hope everybody rested well. Some of you maybe are just coming home from work. Some of you are just waking up to go to work. So I thank you for your time, because time is precious, and where you spend that time is sacred. It's sacred. Blessed Nubian Queen, thank you for joining. Peace and blessings, my sister. One love for all, and all for one love. Okay? This is a one love kind of party. And, we put our feet up. We put our feet up and we do that. And I know, one love for all. I've been typing for and getting faux, F-O-E. So that happened to me. That typo happened to me. I know. So let's get started with the psalm, shall we? Okay. The word first. The word today is coming from dailyword.com. So you may have these little booklets. It's published by Unity Publishers. And I used to get these when I was a substitute teacher. I would get, my principal would give me these little daily word. I was like, what is these daily word? And someone asked me, where do I get the daily word? And how is the daily word? Where is that from? How can I get the daily word? And this is where you get it from. Unity.org. UNITY.org. And today's word is powerful. Do you know that you're powerful? Do you know that you're blessed, highly favored, and wonderfully made in the image of what is righteousness and goodness? However, we're distracted by that jealous liar who's insecure and wanted the throne of God and was kicked out because of that selfish, nasty attitude of, I'm more powerful, than the Almighty. And we are powerful with the Almighty. We're not more powerful than the Almighty, and we want to be, we, want to usurp the authority of anybody, or assume authority over a man, or assume authority over a woman. We don't want to assume authority over anybody. We're going to assume authority over ourselves because we are the good soil, right? We are the good soil. We're going to take our seed and we're going to plant our seed, our good seed, into ourselves, into our good soil. And there's a lot of ways to do that. So the question today is, how are you powerful? What makes you powerful? According to the word today, living the truth of what righteousness is makes you powerful beyond measure. There's no stick that can measure it. When you live in that truth, and I told someone said, oh, I'm posting this and I'm doing this and that. That's my truth. This is my truth. I am going to talk about my truth. Some people may not want to hear it because it may represent something that they have done to me. and I'm expressing how I feel about that truth, right? So don't let anybody make you feel that you can't express your truth. Your truth is going to set you free. Like, come on now. People lie to themselves every single day. I did it at one point in my life, lied to myself, saying this is what and it's like it didn't result in anything good. So when you are living the truth of righteousness, that's God, it makes you powerful beyond measure. And that power is not usurping anybody else's power. It's not assuming authority over anybody else. It's not doing that. Your power is within, and it's expressed in out there. And how do you express that? What makes you powerful? That's the question today. Okay? And a lot of times we find that our money can make us powerful. Our influence can make us powerful. What happens when those things go away? What do we have? So that's the question. What is it that makes you powerful? Your words. Words have power. Your strength has power. Yes, Connie, that question is going to make you think, because it makes you look inside yourself. You're opening up yourself and you're looking inside there. You're looking at your life. You're looking at what hurt you. You're looking at what loved you. You're looking at what left you. And the pain of all of it you're looking at. And it's hard. You don't want to open it and look inside, but you have to, because that power comes from within. And if there's things in there that is hurting you, that you're afraid of, that you are dealing with in challenges, and you don't want to face it, you're going to go through your life bumping your head in relationships. You're going to bump your head all over the place because you have failed to look within. Okay? You have to look within. So people are answering the question, what makes you powerful? That Holy Spirit makes me powerful, Nubian Queen. And that's a sacred righteousness. That's sacred. When I look at holy, I'm looking at it as a sacred. It's sacred. And spirit as that righteousness, that iris. I am righteous. I am good. I am blessed, and I am highly favored, and I'm wonderfully made in the image of what is righteous. So why do I have to battle with myself? Why do I have to battle with you and argue with you? Why do people have to leave vicious voicemails to people they don't know? Because inside is hurting. Hurt people want to hurt other people. That's just how life happens. So what do? We have to live the truth of righteousness that makes us powerful beyond measure, because we're staying in that space, that truth space, okay? That truth space is going to allow me to tell you how I feel about you, even though how I feel about you may make you feel not good, because I'm telling you how I feel about you, and you may not want to hear that. You may want to hear something else. You know what I mean? But you have to be open to hearing the truth. The truth shall set you free. So in the word today, and I'm starting with the word today. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you. I am one with the divine. Okay? I am one with the divine. What does that mean? That means everything God is, love, serenity, patience, power, I am too. Okay? That doesn't mean I'm going to usurp that power. That means that I am going to be one with it. Okay? And this is where jealous and envious and insecure Satan, right? This is where that one lives. That one doesn't live in the divine and being one with the divine. That one wants to be the divine. That one wants to be worshiped. People want people to worship them. People want people to bow down to them, you know. And when you see that, that is evil. You are not to bow down to anyone. You are not to worship people. They're human beings, they're temporary. Worship what created them and what made them special. What is the source of that? That is what we need to worship, not the person, the individual. You know, people get caught up on fall in love. You fall, you're going to get hurt when you fall. You better stand up in love. Stand with the divine when you're loving someone, you know. So the divine, that God, that power, that love, that righteousness, that serenity and patience is what you serve. So you're able now to love someone with that free will that you are receiving from the divine. You know what I mean? So then it's a clean love. It's a pure love. It's a righteous love. When people marry and they exchange vows with each other, okay, these things are important. I got married to my children's dad. I exchanged vows, not knowing he was still married. I'm standing there. I'm 21 years old, 5 months pregnant. All I wanted was a baby. I didn't want all that other stuff. But he was like, I'm old. I'm 23 years older than you. I could be your dad. And, you know, I got to do right by this and I got to marry you. So that's what happened. So here I am exchanging vows. And this person is already married to someone else. Never actually legally divorced. So words, as El Sue said, is powerful. And that power I have was there at 21. But I was disempowered because I ran after something without being prepared for that something. I ran after having a baby without knowing what child development is and how children are. It's like you buy a car and you don't know how the car runs. You don't know how to maintain it. You got to go to someone else to get them to maintain it. And that then becomes, you know, where your funds go to someone else instead of you keeping that within the home, you know, learning about a car. I have a friend and she's a mechanic. She works at a somewhere where she's the only female. Like, that to me is powerful. That's power right there. When you can be in a space where you're not supposed to be, but you're at the table, you know, that shows a powerful beyond measure kind of situation. So thank you for liking this video. My goodness. So in the word today, powerful, this awareness keeps the awareness that you're a one with the divine, and this oneness means everything God is: love, serenity, patience, power, long suffering, compassion, forgiveness, mercy, compassion. All of that, you're one with that. And being one with that and being aware of that keeps you grounded in righteous truth. So when anything comes at you, like Brian said, you can discern it because you're staying in that space. I wasn't in that space, so I couldn't discern things. My dad told me the man's a con man. He's a con man. My dad tried to warn me. I didn't listen. Okay. So I wasn't in that space. Now that I'm in that space and I'm 55 years young, I'm able to discern folks. Yeah. So it's true. You have to live to learn, and you learn to live. And that awareness of being one with the divine is where I am at. And that's where I'm going to be. I want to marinate in that. Because I see everything else around me falling apart. You know, the world is falling apart. That is falling apart. We got an election coming. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows if there's going to be martial law? Who knows what's going to happen? We don't know. So what we do know is what we need to be about. What we do know is that living the truth of righteousness makes you powerful beyond measure. So when I identify with the things of the world, I just mentioned, I may feel powerless at the whim of other people's preferences or at the mercy of uncertain circumstances. When we talk about the whim of other people's preferences, some people prefer to go to a botanical garden. Some people prefer to go to someplace else, right? And you may feel powerless because that person wants to go to a botanical garden and you want to go to a football game, for example, right? Or you may be at the mercy of uncertain circumstances, meaning that there's no certainty in this election. We don't know what's going to happen, who is going to happen to, and why, and when, and where. We don't know. It's uncertain. So when you identify with the things of the world and these things of the world, you may feel powerless. However, when you see yourself as a divine being that you are, because you are divine, you were made as a divine being. You were created in your mother's womb intentionally, right? You have a purpose, you have a power, you have a passion. So when you see yourself as the divine being that you are, and I'm speaking this from example, at 21 years old, I couldn't see nothing but what I wanted in front of me. I couldn't see nothing. And people try to tell me, people try to talk to me, but I'm like, I know it all. You don't tell me anything. At 21, you think you know everything, but you know nothing. So when I saw myself as a divine being, I transcended the limits of the world. I'm like, what? At 30 years old, I had a home birth. You're not supposed to have a home birth. You're supposed to go to the hospital and lay on a steel table on your back and give birth. No. I squatted in a chair holding on to and I gave birth in that ancient way. And I wanted to be in that space. I wanted that. That empowered me. Okay, I transcended the limits of the world. My people were like, "Oh, go to the hospital. You're on an island." And where I was on St. John, I was on the east end of the island. So I would have had to been helicoptered out of the island if anything had happened. But do I think about that? Did I think about that? No. My only thought was being one with the divine. And having that divine hold me, and I released and surrendered to that divine. And all the pain went away. Yeah, for real. It was hard. It was painful having a baby without anesthesia. I didn't have any anesthesia with the first two. They were hospitals, births. And I didn't have any epidural or any, they give you the shot in your back so you don't feel anything. That's crazy. You need to feel. We need to feel. When I had my daughter and I had that home birth, I felt this pulling energy pulling me to the earth. I felt this connection to the earth big time. It was just So when you see yourself as a divine being that you are, you transcend the limits of the world. You rise above the concerns. You keep the troubles in necessary perspective, right? Like I'm going to keep in perspective the troubles. Yes, something could have happened to me when I had the home birth, but I kept it in perspective. I know that I'm a divine being and that I'm going to be okay and that I can transcend the limits of this world and rise above the concerns. And people had concerns. You're having a baby at home? Oh my gosh, you need to go to the hospital. Da, 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 da. People depend on the world, you know. But when the world fades away and there's no hospital, there's nothing, what are you going to do? So you got to know how to live as this powerful, righteous being that you are. You are powerful. You are a powerful, righteous being. Okay? We have this physical being that we can take into a righteousness when we're dancing, grooving, when we're hugging someone, when we're helping someone up. We use our being to be a righteousness to other people and in the world, but not of it. So you are a powerful, righteous being. You're in the world, but you're not of this world. This world is fading away. Okay? So I feel the life, love, and power of righteousness expressing as me. And I bless people by using this power for the good of all beings. Okay? So that is the word today, powerful. And it's brought to you today by Psalm 73:26. And Psalm 73 says, my flesh and my heart may fail. Okay, this is real. Because the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes is temporary. Right? However, righteousness is the strength of my heart. So my heart may fail, it may be broken. Right now it's kind of broken. It's, you know, kind of getting pieced back together. And I don't go back. So I'm not going to go back to where it got broken. I'm going to go forward to where it's going to be healed. You know what I mean? Why go back to where that brokenness came from? Because you want to be with that person and you love them from a distance. Okay. It's just what my 85-year-old cousin said. Self-preservation is the first rule of the law. You have to preserve yourself first before you can throw a life preserve to someone. I had to learn that the hard way. So my flesh and my heart may fail. Yeah. According to Psalm 73, verse 26, the word today, powerful, is brought to you today by this. Your flesh and your heart may fail. However, God, remember what God is. Let's go back up here. God, this means God is love, peace, power, and I call peace serenity. Serenity is peace. Serenity and patience. Patience is love. Love is patience. So, shout out to the little children's names, Patience and Serenity. Mwah, I have to meet you one day. Anyway, that is what the Most High is. So, righteousness, peace, serenity, love, patience, all of that is strength. That's the strength of your heart. And the portion for all time to come. That's your portion. You know, you get different meal portions. Well, your portion is that righteousness of God that is your strength. That's in your heart. So there it goes again. It's on the inside. It's on the inside. It's on the inside. And that portion is there for all time to come. You may walk away from righteousness and go into wrongness. You may walk away from it because of depression, or you may be depressed and lonely, and that's when the devil comes and and grabs you in a snare. So the psalm today is specifically for those who are grabbed up in a snare, who are snared by a demonic entity. I talked about it yesterday, how people do that. They do things to try to divide people's relationship up. And the word today, powerful, when you're living the truth of righteousness, that makes you powerful beyond measure. And what oftentimes happens is people see that power. They see it. You don't think people see my power? The power of righteousness that's within me and that I exert outside, you know? And when people see that, they either threatened by it, they call it fake. Thank you for liking this video. They call me fake. They call me all these different things because they cannot believe in their world that there is someone out here that can be loving themselves and standing up for righteousness and being the truth that they walk. I'm going to talk about it like it is, and I'm going to be about it like it is. Yeah, I am a vegetarian, but I fell off the wagon. I'm going to talk about it. I'm not perfect. I don't want people to say, oh, she's perfect and put together, and no. I have fallen short of the glory. Okay? That's why I have this forum. That's why I'm coming on live, so that I can be able to get this out of my system. It's cathartic. It's like therapy. You talking about it. And I'm using the psalm to do that. I'm using righteousness, righteous words to guide me on this journey of self-reflecting and self-realization that I am blessed, highly favored, and wonderfully made. People may leave me. People may betray me. People may hurt me. People may call and curse me out and leave vicious voicemails. But guess what? That is not going to stop righteousness. Righteousness is going to cover the earth as the water cover the sea. It's going to happen. So get on the righteous road. Leave the insecurities and the jealousy with the demons. That's where they live. They're nasty. They sleep around with a lot of people, have sex with all kind of people. That's demonic. And then bringing diseases. Diseases and demonic go hand in hand. So, we leave people where they are. Now, in the psalm today, I'm specifically sending this out to folks who are in abusive relationships, people who are in a relationship that they don't want to be in, that they're just caught up in a snare. I'm sending this out to folks who are been snared by a demon. They've been taken by something negative and degrading and oppressive and manipulating and controlling. So this is for them. They may think that God has hidden them, herself from them. And God is far away from answering them. But guess what? We're going to chant this psalm for those folks. And for those folks who are going through depression, those folks who are going through suicidal ideations, anyone going through trauma, childhood trauma that they're trying to heal, this is for you. Psalm 10, and here it goes. I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of what is righteous, what is good, kind, and loving, and serene, and tranquil, and harmonious. Okay, remember I talked about the harmonic pattern? So it begins. Why, O righteousness, do you stand far away? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? Okay. This is the psalm. The psalm begins with a question. Like, look, I'm going through some things right now. I need you, righteousness. Why are you far away? Why do you hide yourself in these times of trouble where I see myself in? Okay. Verse 2, check it out. The arrogance of the wicked hotly pursue the poor. Remember I told you when people are in this state, weak state, that's when the snare of the devil comes and takes them. And the devil is arrogant and wicked. And the devil hotly pursues people who are poor in spirit, poor in strength, not just material or money poor, but poor in or weak in their mind. This is the arrogance of the wicked. They're hotly pursuing people who are weak-minded. So what is Psalm 10 verse 2 telling is going to happen? Let these wicked be caught in the schemes that they devised. So leave people alone. People want to go and have adultery and steal people's relationship. Leave them. Because they're going to be caught in the schemes that they have devised. For look at what verse 3. Verse 3 describes these folks, these vicious voicemails. This is Psalm 10. Psalm number 10. And this is what Psalm 10 verse 3 now. The wicked boasts of the desires of their life. And the one greedy for gain curses and renounces the Lord. So when that person left me a vicious voicemail, I said it yesterday, they're not cursing me, they're cursing God. You got to deal with that. Because I'm a child of God. And that person who left the vicious voicemail is a child of God too. So I'm not going to curse that person out. I'm going to cursing God out if I curse her. No. I'm sending love. All the love in the world. Not in the world, but all the love of God. Right? All the love I'm sending. So this is what the greedy one does. They're greedy for gain. They're greedy for a girlfriend. They're greedy for a boyfriend. They're greedy for somebody's husband. They're greedy for gain. And they curse and they renounce righteousness. They're not about anything righteous. They're about what they want. Greedy for gain. They're wicked, evil, demonic. So in the pride, wickedness is prideful. That's why I don't use the word pride and the pride flag. Okay, I told my LGBTQ family this. Let's use love instead of pride, because in the pride of the wicked's face, the wicked does not seek righteousness. They're not seeking righteousness. All their thoughts are, there is no righteous, there is none. There's no goodness there's nothing. So this is what this pride of the wicked's face, it doesn't seek righteousness. So it's not going to call you and leave a good word, in other words. It doesn't seek that. It seeks to curse. It seeks to renounce righteousness. This is what it seeks. So I'm asking that people who are in relations with folks that are demons, that they get released. They get released. So in verse 5, the wicked's ways prosper at all times. But the judgments of righteousness are on high, and it's out of the sight of the wicked. And as for all foes, enemies, okay, wait, verse 5 is, the judgments are on high, and they're out of his sight. As for all his foes, he puffs at them. And we're talking about righteousness. We're talking about God here. So God's ways, the righteous ways, prosper all the time. And these judgments are on high. But these prosperous ways are out of the wicked sight. Right? And the enemies is going to be puffed at. So the wicked is speaking now in their heart, saying, I shall not be moved. Throughout all generations, I shall not meet any challenges or adversity. Verse 7, this is what the wicked is about. The wicked's mouth is filled with cursing. Y'all want to hear that voicemail again? It's filled with cursing and deceit and oppression. Under the tongue of the wicked are mischief and out equity. There's no equality in them. There's cursing, deceit, and oppression. And the wicked sits. They sit in ambush, hiding to murder folks, watching for the helpless. Remember I said this, they prey on the weak-minded. This is what demons do. They prey on the weak-minded. person. And they lurking around, in the bushes. They're lurking in the bushes to seize the weak, to take hold of the weak, to manipulate the weak. You're going to pick my children up from school. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. I control your phone. I control your email. I control you. And this is what demons do. Okay? They are seizing the weak-minded. And they're seizing them and drawing them into a net. They've been captured. Thank you for liking this video, by the way. God, he said, play the voicemail. You can hear the demon in the voice. I'm telling you, this is serious. And someone I knew is with this person, this demon. So we see how the net, people been trapped in a net. Okay? And children are innocent. These children are innocent. Okay? They're innocent children. And because they're innocent, they're caught up in adult demonic relation, in other words. How can 9 people be in a 2-bedroom? What's going on? But anyway, verse 10 says, the helpless are crushed, sink down, and they fall by the might of the wicked. And the wicked says in their heart, God has forgotten. There's no God. There's no Jesus. Where's Jesus? Jesus has forgotten you and has hidden his face. You will never see it. You're going to see me. I'm your girlfriend. I'm the one. Put Jesus aside. Put God aside. I'm it. And this is what demons do. Demons do this. And I'm not calling people a demon now. People's behavior and their actions show who they are. And who they are, they have forgotten that righteousness of who they are, and they have taken on this demonic narrative. And that comes from childhood trauma. Who knows? People may have been traumatized as children and never healed. So now this is what the demon has sucked them into because they haven't healed. They're weak. They haven't healed from the trauma of childhood. So now what is happening is that they are succumbing to the evils of the demons. I know from example. Okay. And in verse 12, so we see from verse 1 all the way to 11, it's just crazy what's going on. It's crazy. We see that. Verse 12 now says, arise. This is the part I love. Arise, righteousness, O God. Lift up your hand and do not forget the afflicted. Those who are weak-minded and being sucked in a snare of the devil. Don't forget them. And then there's a question right after verse 12, verse 13. Why does the wicked renounce God and say in their heart, you will not call to account? Why do wicked people say that? But guess what? In verse 14, God sees you. And he takes a note of the mischief and vexation and the vicious voicemail. Okay? God is writing down things. He's taking a note. But you do see, for you, God, note mischief and vexation, that you may take it into your hands. To you the helpless commits themselves. You have been the helper of the fatherless. The person I knew is fatherless. They weren't raised with their father. Their father is still alive, but every time they sat at the window waiting for their father never came. Don't you think there's some trauma there? When a child is waiting for a parent and the parent never comes, don't you think that that child's going to grow up one day and not be able to sustain any relationship because they have been left or forgotten or have that feeling of being left by a parent? The parent telling them, I'm going to come see you, I'm going to come pick you up, and they never come? That's sad. That's hard. That's needs healing. So the fatherless is going to be strengthened and helped. Okay? I'm fatherless now. My dad is gone. But children are fatherless as children. And then the father wants to come back into their life as an adult, asking them for money. Can you send me $100? It's like, where were you when I was a child? I needed you then. Now I'm older. Now you need me. So you see how things work? So guess what? In verse 15, break the arm of the wicked and evildoer. Call the wicked and evildoer's wickedness to account till you find none. Till you find none. Remember I told y'all, I broke my arm. Okay? I broke my arm. And I was someplace I wasn't supposed to be. I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be. I was with people I wasn't supposed to be with. In a car, driving, drinking. Like I wasn't supposed to be there. That was evil, that was wicked, and boom, I broke my arm. So I look at myself. I don't blame anybody for my arm broken or nobody helped me or whatever. I look at me. I was in the middle of the parking lot in Arkansas. Boom, fell and broke my arm. So in verse 15, that is powerful. So when that happened and I passed out, I saw, I'm telling you, I believe it was St. Michael fighting the demon over my head. And like, you can't have her. You cannot have this one. This one belongs to me. This one belongs to me. You cannot have this one. I am going to call all wickedness to account till there's none to be found. And after that, I didn't want a sip of alcohol. I didn't want it. I was in a dissertation with a broken arm in a sling like this, typing. So in verse 16, who is king? I just saw on the news the so-called European royal family. They copied it from Ethiopia. Anyway, that's a whole different story. But the royal family had some kind of gathering or something, and King Charles or something was there. Somebody in the audience said, "You're not my king." They said, and they had it on the news, that this man is not their king. So when I look at verse 16, the Lord is king forever and ever. Okay? The Lord, that is righteousness, goodness, and mercy and love, is king forever and ever. The nations are perishing from the land. Okay? Perishing from the land. Righteousness listens, to the desire of the afflicted. And I don't ask for myself on the behalf of myself. I'm asking for those out there who are afflicted, who are dealing with affliction. They're afflicted, they're confused, they're torn, they're depressed, they're despair, they're worried, they're concerned, they're anxious, they're all these things. That is who I'm calling on to be lifted up and taken out of their oppressive situations. So that is king forever. Righteousness is king forever and ever. The nations are perishing from their land. Oh, righteousness hears the desire of the afflicted and will strengthen their heart. So those of you who got a broken heart, like me, okay, Guess what? What did I just earlier say? My heart is broken, but it's coming pieces back together because of the strength that I have in the Lord, in Jesus, in God, in Selassie the First, Rastafari, in the Most High, period. Okay, however you want to call that. Emmanuel, Jehovah Jireh, Kadamawi, no, Jehovah Nisi, Kadamawe, Selassie, it's beautiful names. We embrace it. Okay, the heathen don't like the name of God. They don't like it. And I don't want to be a heathen and dislike the name of Jesus because it's the origin of it. I'm going to embrace it and say, bless the name of Jesus. Okay. So the afflicted are going to be heard. The afflicted are going to be strengthened. Their heart is strengthened. They're going to be listened to. And they're going to be done justice to the fatherless and the oppressed. When people are oppressing you, there's justice coming behind. So that human beings who is of the earth may strike terror no more. Stop terrorizing folks with vicious voicemails. Stop it. Like, that's going to stop. The man or the woman who is of the earth, they're not going to strike terror no more. Not going to terrorize folks no more. And it's surprising to me that someone who has 5 children would actually leave a voicemail for someone they don't know, and you have children. That's going to come back on your children. Like, come on. When you leave vicious voicemails, you curse folks out, you're cursing God. You are stepping on the toes of Jesus. You're not even kissing Jesus' toes. You're stepping on them. And you're going to get it. Like, it's the terror, you're not going to be able to do it no more. You cannot hold on to wrongness and think you're going to reap righteousness. That's why you can't plant a banana tree and think you're going to get an orange tree. It's not going to happen. So when people curse you, you bless them. When people betray you, you send them love. From the bottom of your toe. If that's where you got to find it, you got to pull it out of, you got better find it. You don't want to put your hand into wrongness with folks. Because these demons, they want you. They want us. They want us to curse. They want us to, they want us to do nasty things and have nasty words and have nasty people having sex and 5 children. That's 5 men you've been laying down. Like, oh my goodness. Hello. And now you're with a woman. It's okay. Sometimes we change our sexuality, Some people are opportunists. They see an opportunity and they go after it. So the same way a person sees an opportunity and goes after it, somebody's going to do that to them too. They see an opportunity, they're going to go after them, just like they did with someone else. So everything goes kind of, we're on an earth, it's a circle. It's not flat, right? Unless it's flat. But everything goes, it has to come right back to where it began. So why not push out love and kindness so that that'll come rolling around to you? You know what I mean? So righteousness is going to do justice to the fatherless and the oppressed. That these wickedness and demons are not going to strike terror no more. No more. My tea is so cold, y'all. I'm drinking cold tea. It no more. Selah and Selah again. Selah and Selah again. That's sealed up. We're sealing that up. We send it out. And we're going to see a trickle of bless come to anyone out there who's afflicted. Okay? If you're going through affliction and turmoil and situations that's not good and you feel like you made a mistake and this and that's happened, guess what? You have an advocate with the Most High. You have an advocate. So you stay in that space. When you, so the Psalm today is Psalm 10. And Psalm 10, beautiful, we see that the Most High will not hide. Righteousness is not going to hide. It's going to be there. So that's the road we go on. That's where we need to be. Okay? No matter what is happening in our lives and who is doing what and who didn't do what and who did whatever, we're going to stay on that righteous path. We have to. We have to live in that space because things are coming ahead of us the days ahead are coming that may not be pleasant. So we have to armor ourselves up for this. And that is our psalm today, our word today, powerful. And I wanted to share the verse today. The verse today is verse 23, and that's from Proverbs chapter 15. So verse 23 in Proverbs chapter 15 talks about a person finds joy in giving their words and how good is a timely word. So that's what we're talking about. A person finds joy in giving a good word, a timely word. So did that person who left a vicious voicemail, did they find joy in that? Maybe they did. The demons find joy in evil things. The demons find joy in insecurity, and they find joy in jealousy, and they find joy in envy. They find joy in all these things. So a person who really finds joy in giving, okay, not taking, but finding joy in giving a good word and a timely word is blessed, according to Proverbs chapter 15. And we can go to Proverbs Proverbs 15, and it talks about a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And that's what the demons want. They want to stir up anger, so they leave vicious voicemails for you to respond, right? But the tongue of the wise commends knowledge, but the mouths of fools pour out folly and fury. They're cursing you because they're fools, right? The eyes of righteousness are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. A gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perseverance, not perseverance, perverseness in it breaks righteousness. So what does that mean? A gentle tongue is a tree of life. But when you use that tongue for perverseness, cursing, and cursing people out on a voicemail, right? It breaks righteousness. A fool despises their father's instruction. That's why I'm listening to my dad's instruction. He said to be happy. I'm not going to be a fool and despise his instruction. But whoever heeds reproof is prudent. In the house of righteous there is much treasure, but trouble befalls the income of the wicked. Oh my goodness. In the house of the righteous there is much treasure. That's what I'm building. I'm getting a house, and that house is going to be a house of righteousness, where there's much treasure. My backyard with my fire pit, my bedroom is going to be my safe space. When I go downstairs and I go in my kitchen and the living room, and I receive this new house. I receive it. Unprecedented. I mean, it's a miracle. My car was a miracle. Now my house is a miracle. It's unbelievable. So when I look at this, in the house of the righteous there is much treasure, but trouble befalls the income of the wicked. They're not going to have enough income. They're going to have trouble is going to befall them because they have been captured or snared by the devil. The lips of the wise spread knowledge, not so the hearts of fools. Okay? The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to righteousness. The wicked can't sacrifice nothing. The way of the wicked is an abomination to righteousness, but righteousness loves righteousness, people who pursue righteousness. I pursue righteousness. Even though the person I knew left me for someone else. They don't want me to keep saying that, but yeah, that's the reality of it. I still sent them a beautiful heart-shaped plant. It's a money tree, those plants. I sent them one to their jobs. And I said, congratulations on your relationship. I wish you the best. End of it. I pursued righteousness. I didn't pursue, wrongness and go send somebody to go flatten their tire or go hurt them physically. No. We're not doing that. That's an abomination. The way of the wicked is an abomination. So we don't do that, right? There is severe discipline for those who forsake the way of righteousness. Whoever hates reproof will die. So when you are being severely disciplined, okay, like I disciplined that little girl and put her in her little place, right? And you don't want discipline, you forsake that, and you don't want reproof, you're going to die. Like you're going to be cut off, right? Hell, Sheol, and Abaddon is open before righteousness. How much more the hearts of the children of human beings? A scoffer does not like to be reproved. He will not go to the wise. A glad heart makes a cheerful face. But by sorrow of the heart, the spirit is crushed. The heart of him who has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouths of fools feed on folly. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but the cheerful of heart has a feast, right? Better is a little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble with it. So it's better to have little than to have a bunch of stuff and you have trouble. You can't pay it. You got bills. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a fattened ox and hatred with it. Okay? A hot-tempered person stirs up strife. Only, however, the one who is slow to anger quiets themselves. The way of a sluggard is as a hedge of thorns, but the path of the upright is a level highway. Okay? So Proverbs, gives us, and it goes on and on. Proverbs is talking, a wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish man despises his mother. Folly is a joy to him who lacks sense. So people are joyful in their cursing and foolishness because they have no sense, right? But a woman who stands in righteousness walks straight ahead. Without teaching, plans fail. However, with many advisors, you can succeed. Without teaching, without counsel, plans are going to fail. Okay? To make an apt answer is a joy to a man, and a word in season, how good it is. The path of life leads upward for the prudent. However, that he may turn away from hell beneath. So seek for what's above. The Lord tears down the house of the proud. Remember I said pride is a sin. The house of the proud is torn down, but maintains the widow's boundaries. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to righteousness. However, gracious words are pure, right? Whoever is greedy for unjust gain troubles his own house. However, he who does not love bribes will live. Nobody should bribe you. Oh, Do this for me and I'll do that for you. Pro quid pro, right? No, we're not getting bribed here. Um, the heart of the righteous ponders how to answer. So the heart of the righteous thinks about the answer before just spewing out vicious voicemails, right? You think about the answer. However, the mouth of the wicked pours out evil things. Okay? And the Lord is far from the wicked, but the Lord hears the prayer of the righteous. Okay? That's why wicked people don't pray. They don't get on their knees beside their bed and pray or talk to God, whether they get on their knees or not. They don't talk to God, right? They're God is far from the wicked, right? The light of the eyes rejoices the heart, and good news refreshes the bones. The ear that listens to life-giving reproof will dwell among the wise. So when you listen to life-giving reproof, you're going to dwell among wise folks. Whoever ignores instruction despises themselves. Yes. However, one who listens to reproof gains intelligence. The fear of righteousness is instruction in wise mind, and humility comes before honor. So I just read the entire book of Proverbs, chapter book 15. Okay, 15. And I know some of you may think, why would I send a gift to someone who hurt me? But that's what I do. I am leaning on the side of righteousness. I'm going to lean on the side of goodness. And I sent this months ago, when this happened. So I know that my heart is clean and I don't have any animosity and I'm light like a feather. So I move in that way and I give in that way. I know how far to give and I know how far to take. Okay, because of the discernment that's in me. So I have to get more hot water for my tea because it's cold. So I just finished up. Let me get Max Lucado, see what he's talking about today. But thank you for joining Chant A Psalm A. I really love that I can be able to share. On the 22nd of October, a steward is more a giver than a guardian. So be a steward, be a giver. And you don't have to give money. You can give your time and you can give, access to yourself. Some people don't have access to me anymore. They have, cut that off. They have decided to do that. I have decided to allow them to do that. So they've been cut off. Serving two masters, you can't. You cannot serve two masters. So, who is this? Lisis Best 11. You preach for gain of things? No. We don't want things. We don't want things of the world. No, we don't. But because you can't serve two masters, that's what I'm about to talk about here. You cannot serve two masters. You're going to love the one or hate the next. That's why men who have a mistress, they have a wife and they have a mistress, or some women have that too. They have a wife and they have a mistress. You can't serve two. You're going to hate one and love the next. You're going to love one and hate the next. It's not going to work. So serving two masters is being talked about in chapter, I think it's 16. So this is the book, the book of Luke. This is the book of Luke, and this is the book of Luke, chapter 15. Chapter 16 is about serving two masters. You can't. So this is an interesting story. Chapter 16. It's the parable of the shrewd manager. So it says, Jesus told his disciples there was a rich man whose manager was accused of wasting his possession. So he called him in and asked him, "What is this I hear about you? Give an account of your management because you cannot be manager any longer." The manager said to himself, "What shall I do now? My master is taking away my job. I'm not strong enough to dig, and I'm ashamed to beg. I know what I'll do so that when I lose my job here, people will welcome me into their houses." So he called in each one of his master's debtors. He asked the first, "How much do you owe your master?" $900 of olive oil. This is what they used then. The manager told him, "Take your bill, sit down quickly, and make it 450." So instead of 900, 450. Then he asked the second, "And how much do you owe?" 1,000 bushels of wheat, he replied. He told him, "Take your bill and make it 800." The master commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. For the people of this world are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the people of the light. You hear that? Let me read that again. For the people of this world are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the people of the light. So people of this world deal with their own kind in a messy way. Women against women, right? Men against men, men against women, women against men. This is what's happening. I tell you, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourself, so that when it is gone, you will be welcomed into eternal dwellings. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So when you have not been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, who will trust you with true riches? So if you can't handle worldly money, like you just take it and go spend it and go gamble it off, how are you going to be given true riches? And if you have not been trustworthy with someone else's property, who will give you property of your own? No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both righteousness and money, folks. The Pharisees who loved money heard all this and were sneering at Jesus because they loved them some money. He said to them, "You are the ones who justify yourselves in the eyes of others, but God knows your hearts. What people value highly is detestable in God's sight." So when you value that car that you got more than is detestable in the sight of righteousness. That you value what people value highly is not desirable of the Most High. This is what I'm talking about when we talk about people leaving people for other people. They are valuing other people highly, and God doesn't like that. So when they find themselves in a situation struggling, this is the reason right here. According to Luke chapter 16, you're serving two masters. You can't serve God and money. So waiting for the Son of Man, be ready, praying for persistence, don't forget. So we have chapter 17 and chapter 18. Okay. Sin, faith, and duty. So Jesus said to his disciples, I'm almost done, y'all. Things that cause people to stumble are bound to come, but woe to anyone through whom they come. It will be better for them to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around their neck than to cause one of these little ones to stumble. So watch yourselves. Watch yourselves. People who are demons and snaring people into their life, guess what? You better watch yourself. When your brother or sister sins against you, rebuke them. And when they repent, forgive them. Even when they sin against you 7 times in a day, and 7 times come back to you speaking, I repent, you must forgive them. The apostle said to the Lord, increase our faith. He replied, when you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mulberry tree, be uprooted and planted in the sea, and the tree will obey you. Suppose one of you has a servant plowing or looking after the sheep. Will he say to the servant when he comes from the field, come along now and sit down to eat? Won't he rather say, prepare my supper, get yourself ready and wait on me while I eat and drink. After that, you may eat and drink. Will he thank the servant because he did what he was told to do? So you also, when you have done everything you were told to do, should speak. We are unworthy servants. We have only done our duty. Okay? I'm not worthy. I've only done my duty of being kind and, you know, still learning. So for Max Lucado for the 22nd, a covenant of love. A covenant of love. And this is from Exodus. Oh, we're going back into the New Testament. Exodus chapter 15, verse 13. You keep your loving promise and lead the people. You have saved with your strength. You will guide them to your sacred place. I love that. I receive it. I receive it. There's a loving promise, and that loving promise is kept. People may promise you things and say this, but the promise of the Most High, that higher source of promise, is going to lead you. It's going to lead you. It's going to save you. It's going to strengthen you. And it's going to guide you to a sacred place. And that sacred place for me is my new house. My new house. So that loving presence from Exodus 15:13, I receive it. Everyone should receive it. Receive that loving promise that's going to lead you, save you, strengthen you, and guide you to a sacred place. So Max Lucado, he comments about Exodus 15. He says, don't think that God always has goosebumps and happy feelings toward his people. That same God is the God who once wondered if he should have ever made this thing called the human race. But it's the same God who assures us that you are my people and I will be your God. It's not based on feelings or perfection. It's based on a covenant of love. Don't push it away. I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of what is right, and that I don't push away the love that's there for me, that I receive it in abundance, because I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be in a sacred place. And my heart weeps for those out there who are suffering from unhappiness or loneliness or depression or anxiety or suicidal ideations. My heart goes out to them. And I weep because it's sad to know that people out there are suffering. When people are suffering, I feel like I'm suffering too. And it becomes, a journey of realizing that you cannot help or save anyone. You can bring them to the water. I can bring you all who are listening here, I can bring you to the word. But it's up to you to live the word. It's up to you to practice these loving affirmations. It's up to you to release the burdens off your shoulders. And it's up to you to find that sacred place. It's there. And I'm thankful for this psalm today because it really, everyone kind of knows I get sad and this happens. And it happens to the best of us because we want the best. And then when we see our loved ones hurting or they're going through trials, it hurts to see them hurt. When my son passed away, and it hurt me to see how he became and how he was struggling with mental illness. It hurt me to see that his life, oh goodness. What is happening? So you have the stove on?
No.
Nothing's on?
No.
Okay, close the door. The thing is going off. I don't know why that just went off like that. That is serious. The truth will be revealed. But we are at the end here, and as I was speaking before that happened about my son, I could feel my son. Yeah, I could feel him. He is mystic. He feels me, and I feel him. And when my son passed, it was hard for me. I tried to be in a space, and I didn't have quite that support. People blamed me. And then when my dad passed, it was the hardest ever because I saw him on the ground, passed away. So my son isn't cooking out there or anything, but the alarm went off. So hugs are good. Hugs are good. I just read something that when you hug someone, your heart is on the left side of your body. When you hug someone, their heart is on their left side. And when you hug, you have two hearts now. It's your two hearts are coming together. It's a beautiful thing, hugs. So I love hugs. Hugs are the best ever. And I remember this person that I knew gave such good hugs that when I first met them, I said, "Can I get another hug?" Yeah. So, oh my goodness, I didn't know I was gonna just go to this space, but yeah, this is what happens, y'all. It's called grieving. You're, grieving a loss. You're grieving a loss of someone who you won't see again physically, and then you're grieving the loss of a relationship that's over. So, I let it out here. This is how I let it out. When I'm teaching, sometimes I feel like, sad and I want to cry, but I have to let my students know that, you know, um, that I'm, a person with feelings. And I may sometimes do that. One student said, "It's okay. I cry all the time. I love to cry, just cry." And it's a healing thing, I'm healing. And I'm thankful for the people in my life that have come to help me heal and doesn't want anything from me, just wants to be my friend and help me heal. So thank you. Thank you so much. So as we outro, have a blessed day, everyone, and remember, stand in love. I have to go get some more hot water for my tea. Have a blessed day, everyone. Thank you, Nubian Queen. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day, everyone. Selah and Selah again. Have a blessed day. Reach your vision, yeah. Come on. Walk this down easy street. Track these angels in dreams and your prayers. Have a blessed day. Stay in one love. That's the place we need to be. Look at me. All my tears hurt. Remember, your tears are caught in a bottle. So it's okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for liking this video, by the way. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day, and remember, Chant A Psalm A. Always.